dark and you should always carry a lantern. We don't want a real oil lantern, so we'll make an electric one instead. Here's how.
First off, we need to start with a standard kerosene lantern. You'll also need some lamp cord, a candelabra-style lamp socket, a plug, and a flicker bulb.
The first thing you'll want to do is take off the handle. It just makes it easier to work on so it's not getting in the way. Pretty straightforward. It's a bendy piece of wire. Just flex it and off it comes. Next, you'll want to remove the glass top so that it doesn't get broken. On most oil lanterns like this, it's really easy to remove. You just grab the top, lift the whole piece up. It's spring-loaded. And now you can tip it forward and get the glass out. We'll have to take care of a couple other things. There's the piece that actually held the glass in place. Now normally that end is very narrow, so we'll have to actually cut some of the metal away to make it larger. And there's the part that holds the wick itself. It's actually pretty easy to remove. It twists and comes off. When you take it out, there'll be a piece in the center that actually controls the wick and allows you to change the height by turning the little dial on the side there. We've cut it away. There's simple two metal tabs that have been removed. And in place, we flipped it around, hacksawed off the knob, bent a piece at 90 degrees, and just used some hot glue to glue it back on the inside so it still looks like it's attached to the lamp. You'll also need to drill a hole in the back of the lamp big enough to accommodate the lamp cord you're using. Depending on the thickness of your lamp cord will determine how big a drill bit you'll need to make a hole. Leave yourself enough extra room so it doesn't scrape too much, because obviously the sharp metal could eventually wear through the insulation and cause some problems. Now we have to prepare the socket. They normally come like this if you get the long one, which is what you need. But we're going to take off these two screws on the side and we're going to just separate it and throw that part away. This is the only part we need. You can test the fit by sliding the socket down into the remainder of the lamp. It should fit into the base very nicely, and the two little prongs at the bottom should rest against the bottom of the oil tank so that it sticks out the way you see it here. At least you'll know then it's a good fit. You may have to force it a little bit, but that's okay. That's basically what's holding the socket in place. Although typically there's not a lot of force on it when you're screwing the bulb in. So as long as it's relatively secure, you should be fine. Now we'll have to wire up the socket. What you should probably do is feed the cord through the base of the lamp first. Try and keep a bend in it. It'll help curve it so it'll come at the top. Now you can attach it to the socket and get things wired up. Fit the socket back in. It should stay in place with your cord coming out the back. Now we have to replace our little cap piece. That should just twist back into place. We'll put our little top piece down and we'll screw in our flicker bulb. And last, we'll take great care to put our glass piece back on. You'll have to be careful when you're doing this because with the bulb in place, you haven't got a lot of wiggle room for getting the glass back in. So we'll pull the top back up and we will just very carefully place that over. And there we go. Now we're basically done. Last thing you'll have to do is take the other end of your electrical cord and wire it up to your plug. Now be careful when you're selecting the different components. Some of this lamp cord is thicker than others, and depending on the plug you get, you may or may not fit all that well. Once you've got them connected, we're ready for testing. And we're all set to go. We simply plug her in. I find the flicker bulbs produce a far more realistic flame effect than the LED candles do. They also throw quite a bit more light. There it is. Got any questions? You know how to get a hold of us.